Hi, welcome to Embodying Stories of Hope. I'm the facilitator, Kelsey Elizabeth Myers. I'm the founder of Dialogical Persona Healing Arts, an integrative somatic expressive arts practitioner, and a transformative coach. I wanted to begin this year with that idea of glimmers of hope given the current wildfires and the political situation, given so much anger, grief, frustration coming out of the holidays, there's a lot of stress. So sometimes it can feel like it's beyond hope and hopelessness. And I wanted to offer this workshop to connect you with those moments where you can see hope, where it's connected with not just a vision for this new year filled with hope, but also hope in your heart and hope that you can carry into your daily lives going forward into this new year. And a new year is a natural time for transformation. It is a literal turning point. And a lot of times it presents us with new opportunities, new intentions, and new directions that we can go in. So this workshop will use I have two free PDFs on my website, dialogicalpersona.com/resources. One is about creating our own inner compass, the objects, the symbols, the directions that we want to move in that are coming from our own soul's knowing, our inner wisdom, that are just kind of coming out of our own space and creativity. So I will guide you through creating and mapping and building that out for yourself in this workshop. And then I have another PDF called Embodied Inquiry that brings in some more expressive arts practices and embodiment work to help kind of land that compass in your body, in your system, in a very organic and gentle way. So I'll take you through some of the practices in that as well. And both of these are available on my website. I'll share that link with you so that you can use those as a way to create this for yourself. I do suggest that you have your own journal or sketchbook, something to create and to write with, whatever tools that you feel would help you to express what hope looks like and any connection to inquiries that you might have, like a word of the year, or if you have some theme for your own self growth that you'd like to bring in. What is the relationship between hope and that inquiry for you? So, these are some of the things that we'll do in the next 90 minutes. And I wanted to first begin by just connecting with our bodies, with our hearts. So, I invite you to, wherever you are, find a comfortable restful position. It could have both feet on the floor, or if it's more comfortable for you to sit cross-legged or lay down, it's really up to you. But some space for yourself to get comfortable in, as well as where you'll be able to sort of, move your body in a gentle manner. So to begin, just I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And if at any moment there is any discomfort, just you have full permission to adapt the exercise to something that is comfortable in your body and really always follow what feels good. So if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes and just connect to your breath in its own natural rhythm. As you breathe in and breathe out, breathing in and out at whatever pace that looks like for you. And as you stay connected with your breath in and out, just gently bring your hands together to generate some heat. And when you have that, just kind of cup them over your eyes and let the heat enter the breath, moving in, filling your body and releasing with the exhale out. And as you feel that heat circulate down through your eyes, all the way down to your toes, just in your own time, begin to brush your fingertips down your face as if they were paintbrushes. You can smooth, you can pat, or you can gently tap, whichever feels good to you. And just kind of bring some gentle awareness and touch to your face, to your temples, to your jawline, to your cheeks. Just inviting that and moving that through your scalp, through your hair, the back of your head, and a gentle massage all the way down to your neck. Remembering to still breathe and circulate that heat through the body. You can bring them down, rest them on between your ribs, the front of your chest. We can hold a lot of tension here. So it can feel good to put some gentle, loving touch there, to notice, not to change anything. It helps to kind of brush, or some people like to gently tap down their arms, whatever feels good to you, all the way down your fingers, and just kind of rubbing your belly and the lower back, whatever parts of it you can reach. Eventually bringing that down to your thighs, knees, and legs, all the way down to your feet. Feeling some gentle awareness in each part of the body, and then returning to your center, your heart center, in the middle of your chest. If it helps to put a hand there, you can. You can put one hand on your heart and one on your belly, but just really being in your center here. And just inviting in any intention you have for hope in this workshop, placing that in the circle that we're creating here together, giving it to the earth to hold, surrounded by us, as we place hope here in the center of our awareness. You can just say hello to your heart and ask it. Hope for you is like what? For you, heart, hope is like what? Just hold that answer lightly here in the center of our circle. Doesn't have to make sense. And just Slowly turn your awareness down to your sacral center. Some people call it the red spot, some people call it the Dantian, the womb space, and just it's about a couple inches inside from the belly button on the interior there. And from that point, just begin to circle out with your hips. You can stay seated. If it's more comfortable for you to get up and stand, that's fine too. But slowly just begin making small circles from that center that come out. And just notice what happens to that answer about hope for you as you gently circulate and circle with it in spiraling motions. You can make bigger circles, or you can play with the pace, going faster, going slower, until you find where hope feels like it can breathe in your body. Mm. And from this place, hope for you is like what? And then just begin going in the opposite direction, spiraling and circling the opposite way. And notice how this feels. Playing with larger, smaller, faster, or slower in your own timing. And when you find the rhythm that feels like hope in your body going in this direction, just notice from this space, hope is like what? Could be the same, it could be different. And just receive the answer. And then again, in your own timing, begin to put some shapes or what we call movement expressions where you physically show what hope would look like, what that answer looks like in your body. It can just be a simple hand gesture, it could be a posture, just physically. What would that answer look like? Any of those answers that feel alive for you, and I'm going to put on some music and just play with how that would move in your body. If you feel called to make it into a dance, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. And slowly just return to your screen and let that go for now. Coming to your own natural resting place. Hmm. And now I want to share a little bit about that finding your own compass. So, all those shapes and symbols and images that came, and words that might have come to you during that, and we'll begin to work with how we can kind of map that into a compass to guide us throughout the rest of the year. So I take the direction symbolism, from a few different sources, just my own understanding of them, as well as a poet, Franny Choi. I need to find the title of her poem. It is in the PDF. Um, might not be able to find it, but it will be there. Aha. So she wrote a poem called Glossary of Terms in her poetry collection Soft Science. It came out in 2019. And she had a version of what these meanings are. And so that was the base, and then I've expanded it into my own thing. But if you're interested, you should check out that poem because it's very cool. But think about what is rising in you if you think about this. So in your east, what is rising? This is great energy for those new opportunities and new beginnings that we're having at the start of 2025. And the east energies can tend to be mental and are associated with the element of air. So if you think about what is rising, what is mental, what are you imagining for this year or for hope? Um, use that as some creative guidance for what you'd like to see rise and grow and develop this year. And what check. What would that be? What represents that energy for you that you want to rise? Mhm. Just identify with that energy and just think about what is the relationship between this object and the east for me? Mm, where is the relationship between this object and the east? Is it on the inside or the outside? And if it's on the outside, whereabouts on the outside is it? And how far is it from you? And if it's on the inside, whereabouts on the inside is it? And how deep is that in you? And what would you like to remember about this relationship? And what does this relationship want or desire for you? Is there a relationship between this desire and hope? If you're still reflecting on that, you can just pause this. Otherwise, we'll turn our attention to the West and thinking about how the sun rises in the East and sets in the West. What does that desire transform into? So think about what's also setting within you, what might need completion or closing or integrating or releasing. What um what might need to complete to bring about this new hope or this new inquiry for you this year? Well, the West is typically associated with the element of water. So, is there an emotional component to that that might need to be completed or set to move you forward where you want to be this year? And what object might represent that West for you? And so, then thinking, what is the relationship between this object and the West in you? And where is that relationship coming from? Is that on the inside or the outside? And again, if it's on the outside, whereabouts on the outside is this object and what distance is that from you? And if it's on the inside, whereabouts on the inside is it and how deep in you is it? What do you want to remember about this relationship? What might this relationship desire or want for you this year? Is there a connection or a relationship between this desire or want and hope? And when you're ready, you can pause this if you're not. And if you are, then let's move to the south. The south is associated with fire, so it can be a really powerful symbol of rebirth or renewal or purging or cleansing for what is to come. So, energies of the South hold spirits who want to support and nurture us in our process of change. This direction is about the guidance in your own soul knowing. So, think about what is supporting you? What resources do you have? What guides do you have who might represent the South for you? And how do they feed your soul? So, think about an object. What feed your soul or represent these sources of support for you? And what is the relationship between this object and the South in you? And where is that relationship? Is that on the inside or the outside? Or both? And if it's on the inside, whereabouts on the inside and how deep is it? And if it's on the outside, how far or what distance on the outside? And if it's both, what is the connection? And what do you want to remember about this relationship? And what might this relationship desire or want for you this year? And does this have a connection or a relationship to hope? And again, if you're ready to move on to the north, what what is sort of your earth grounding, rooting you, energies from the moon, kind of very earthy, which is another source of there's a secret to grow with the support of the grounding root system that holds you, that you can come face to face with what you need to confront to nourish and replenish yourself. So, in that sense, what direction are you growing in at this moment, and what might be a challenge to towards something that is sort of rooting or anchoring you that might need some renewal or some transmutation? And what object represents that? When you come to that object, what is the relationship between that object and the north energies? And where is that? Is that on the inside or the outside? Or both? What do you want to remember about this relationship? And what does this relationship want or desire for you? And is there a connection between this and hope? And now we'll turn to the center. I call this your true north. So if you think of this would be that direction that it's pointing you to from your own center. So, what is your true north? The center where you find your own authority, your own voice, your sense of self. I think it's great to end in this direction because to truly know the connections and the energies that you're working with, then where is that all pointing to? What direction is that taking? What object would represent that true north for you? So, when you have that object, what is the relationship between that object and your guiding star, that true north direction? And where is that? Is it on the inside or the outside or both? What do you want to remember about this? And what might this relationship want for you or desire for you this year? What is your true north here to teach you? Is there a connection between this and hope? Hmm. And take a minute to let that settle and finish up your final reflections just for now. So, I want to invite you to take about 10 minutes in your own space. So, if you're watching this recording, you can take as long as you need, but just, take some time to gather some of these objects if you have them, and if you don't, just maybe something that might represent that for you, and create a physical altar or a physical compass that's composed of these objects that you have within your space already. And you can take some time over the next year if there's something that you feel called. This object needs to be there and it isn't, to create that for yourself in whatever way makes sense. And put that on this altar, returning to this compass. And it can grow as you do, it can change as you do, but just I find that it's nice to have these physical representations that help to move with. And so once you create this space, we'll spend the last part of the workshop really moving with these objects and moving in that altar space. So at this point, make your compass big enough that you can move in it. So once you have your altar in place that you can move with or around, mine ended up being very compact, so it does actually look like a compass, and I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. But it can look however you want as long as you can interact with it. And my little cat Zara is on top of my lesson plan. um, so the purpose of the next exercise, if you want music, play your own music. It helps though if you can really just be in silence and be with yourself as you interact with your altar. But the purpose of this exercise is really to see if there's any new connections that you make when you're interacting with the physical objects of your compass. And so you'll want to spend at least 2 minutes with each point of your compass. So the object that represents the north, the south, the east, the west, and your center. And 2 minutes each. And it's a total of 10 minutes, and just really be in your altar space. Be with each direction, each object again in that physical way. You can give shape to it and hold it in your hand. You can just sort of commune with it. Whatever that interaction or that movement expression looks like for you. So again, I'll pause the recording and spend about 10 minutes with your compass, and with each direction, about 2 minutes each. And then once that is done, um, just spend about 10 minutes reflecting on that, writing down in your journal anything you want to remember, any new insights or wisdom that came to you, anything that seems important to keep with you or that you want to remind yourself of over this next year. So that is a total of about 20 minutes on your own to do this, to do both of these exercises. So, because no one actually showed up, I will just end there, but I do want to share that my next workshop will be February 16th at the same time, 3 to 4:30 Pacific time, here on Zoom, and the theme will be self-love as we go into a month where there's a lot of attention and awareness on love and intimacy and connection within our relationships. I think it's important to also remember that it begins with self-love, and that is also important as we're loving up on each other. So just send me an email or a social media message to let me know if you're interested in coming to that. I also offer a free um, 60-minute connection call to express yourself if you want some extra support with this compass exercise, or if anything came up that you just like to share. You can book that on my website, dialogicalpersona.com. And I just wanted to share that for my own exercise in the recording, I'll be putting my photo of my compass, and that for me, what came up for um, kind of each point was that in the east, I have roses, and I got some dried roses, as well as my new pet Zara Rose is my new little Persian cat. Um, She is where the roses are for me, and her name, Zara, actually means blooming flower and a sovereign ruler. So, that idea of really blooming into who you're meant to be. So, um, she reminds me that as a baby kitten, um, she's just so playful, so curious, so creative, and so agile. And I really want to bring that newness and curiosity and that agility back. I need to become more agile again, because I used to be a little gymnast like her, and I'm not so much that anymore, but I would like to be. And one of my um one of my spirit guides actually in the west is the raven, and she came to me again, and I have this crystal black raven that I put in the west on my compass to represent that, and kind of returning to my own practices and rituals and inner wisdom. I have a red carnelian pyramid for the south to ground and keep that life force energy connection alive within me. I got the message that I need to find my inner dragon again. And in the north, I have my blue cream Persian, Kierkegaard Kiki Mao passed in October. This at right after my 40th birthday, in the same month Zara was born. So I'm sort of still grieving her, and I think that's okay to be grieving her and to be excited and filled with love for this new relationship with the new kitten, and just remembering that I am loved and supported by her as well, and that I didn't lose that. That connection is still there. I definitely felt her at my back while Zara was at my heart the other night too. So that felt supported from both directions. And then in my center, I have been working with my own business coach, and she told me to keep the Shakespearean mantra, "All the world is my stage," and I really like that, and I feel that that is sort of my guiding light this year, is that all the world is my stage, and I'm going to find creative stages to step onto. So my dad, when I was a kid, got this award, some kind of banking award, and it looks like it's a crystal pyramid with a sharp point, and it looks like a diamond, and he gave it to me because I couldn't stop playing with it as a kid, and I still have it, and that I put in the center to represent that, you know, diamond center, that I am going to be finding those creative stages and outlets for myself this year, and that I am pointed in the direction of hope, and that remembering that that is within me. So that was the fruits of my exploration into hope. More to come. And again, if you would like to explore self love with me next month, I'd love to see you then.